Alright, guys, so the first segment that I'm going to create today is going to be specifically narrow focus on educators. Educators. Alright, cool. This is actually coming from my first handed experience, alright? This segment, what's real, what's fake, it could, all of you guys experience it differently, and what's real, what's fake, that's completely up to you, that's not up to me. This is my view of what's fake and what's real. Here we go, our first thing. Alright, guys, so, okay. What's fake, what's real, it is very important to understand that I'm only speaking behalf on university. And so this is experience in university. I cannot speak on behalf of my childhood, or I can speak on the primary school and high school in a third person, not a first person. But this segment is more about first person, my experience. Okay, there's so many universities out there. Some university are a lot more popular than the other one. One, there's a university filled with all students, or lining up with students. The other one is just half or quarter. Okay, whatever it is, I don't care. Or sometimes maybe the trend is different. Maybe that university has a bad reputation or whatever. There's a crime or whatever. What stung this university or things like that, or reputation or the name or the things like that. In an educator, you have to look into a business model. Apparently, unfortunately, teaching is seen as a business model. Now, I went to a university that is actually not the most popular amongst the university in my state. It's probably the lowest, and people who tend to go there are usually, give a university, didn't have too much luck on the high school, like what I mean. But they step any students just to, build the university. They just call about number games and things like that. But when you have a university that has so many numbers of students, they could fail or pass students the way how they wanted, or how a curriculum or literacy has provided to you guys to understand how to learn it. So you have a huge difference. Now, I like to, when you're in the university, you have a whole fresh one whole year, and all of us, you guys there, you're making friends. You make your group friends, and not your friends, classmates, will always be in the same class. You'll be in different time, different slot of time, and things like that. That's part of life. You cannot always be together, right? Let's just put it that way. But you always compare, this teacher to that teacher, or this one I learned a lot, and you ask yourself, how come I didn't learn a lot? And you go through 12 weeks, or you go through 6 weeks or 3 weeks, you didn't learn much, you try the comparison, and you can tell what's real, what's fake, straight away. Okay, educators. I'm going to say my experience. My experience in education. I remember when I went to a teacher, a unit. A teacher is very passionate about it, tells you in and out of the industry, and less, very very less with the PC virtual signaling, and give you her passion and compassion of this industry. Blah 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 blah. And you got the lecture slides are still going, flooded with information, and there's more lecture slides. You got another teacher who, no, sorry, I'll stay on that teacher. That teacher, less, not many, she less frequently allows students to answer raise their hand in the class, or raising anything, and things like that. Now, I got another teacher who she admitted she's very new in teaching, being an educator, and she created all her slides and everything. Now, she often, out of the 12 weeks class, she often, probably 5 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks, she often run out of slides half an hour early. And when she ran out of slides early, she allowed students to speak on behalf about their feelings, regards to the unit topic, and Unfortunately, that educator was very, 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 very radical feminist, very, very political correctness, very, very virtual signaling. I know it is in today's world, but when you go to university, you pay so much money to be in that class, to sit there. Now, I don't want my lectures to finish half an hour early and start to have a Q&A about feelings of my class. No, that's not end, mate. I paid for this class. You have feelings, go talk to the tutorial or amongst your group of friends, because I came to travel all the way here. I spent that much money. I'm getting the professional professor's advice, their knowledge, their values, everything. I am not there to listen to my classmates or my peers' opinions, mate. Do that in tutorial. When a teacher often allowed to do that, that's not a good teacher. And the problem with educators is that in the university, there's two markers. One is your tutorial teacher. The other one is the lectures. The lecture is the unit, the head of the unit, right? She's the final marker, and she's the decision caller, right? Now you can either have a real professor or fake professor, or a real teacher or fake teacher, tutorial teacher, if I'm referring to. If you go to, if you be in the same class and the same lecture, the unit, and it's a real teacher who's really passionate about it, you have more passionate about writing your assessment, and you know what to do. You don't need to do more effort to do your research. Or she give you a hard one. She make you think. She doesn't always spoon feed you, but she make you think and what she learned. When you write your lecture notes and try to match it to your assessments, what she's been said, or what she's been doing, what she's trying to give it to us. But if a teacher is very bombarded with political correctness and blaming men all the time, I can get that information in YouTube. Don't get me wrong, mate. I don't need her to explain half an hour about this whole thing, which that unit is nothing regards to men or work, or any of the subjects. I can go that in internet and I can watch those videos and talk me about that. Tell me something that I'd never learned. Teach me something that I'm going to gain knowledge, not this type of knowledge, because I came here to pay. And when you have educators like that, and when you try to match it with your assessment and it's not matching, you're going to find a very hard time. That's real and fake. And that's my experience. I know it's very political, but you have to remember, you're there to pay them. Not just the government pay them. You're there to pay them, and the government pay their wages, and they try their best to have as much students to understand where they're coming from and how they taught me in this unit and be successful in that unit. That's it. And get high distinction or distinction in their assessments.